just go ahead and do this video real quick while the shit hit my motherfucking head, right? I think, at least for me, I think that in our age bracket, and I'm talking about 40 plus, 45 plus, I think that in our, age bracket, and it doesn't just mean that you have to start standing on principles and values in our age bracket. When you young and dumb, you know what I'm saying, and full of cum, you're gonna justify a lot of your actions and shit. But maturity isn't an age. It is a time in your life. It is a mind state, right? And so when I say, it's the time in our life, I mean maturity. Let me rephrase. Maturity. That motherfucking, when it comes to certain shit in your life, ain't no motherfucking such thing as second best. That side piece shit is trash. And, I've seen instances where the motherfucking side piece is either confronting the wife in some type of way. It could be physically, it could be verbally, it could be over the phone. I've seen that over the phone too. And to me that whole shit is motherfucking trash. And even when I was, out there thugging and bugging, as I call it, because I was young at one time too, and I didn't have dick discretion in the sense of I didn't care if the person was married. If I wanted to date them, at one time I didn't care. But I had to take a deep look within myself, and this is still why I'm young, and figure out why the fuck would I even want to be second best to anyone when I'm top notch. And it don't mean that the motherfucker gotta marry me. It just means that it's nothing wrong with wanting to be the one and only. I think in our motherfucking society, we tend to normalize bullshit just to have a reason to condone the choices that we fucking make, right? But even when I was out there thugging and bugging, one thing I never made it a point to do is to call myself confronting nobody's wife over they motherfucking husband. Now, I could be wrong, I could be wrong, because I know there's some secret languages that go on within a marriage that I may not understand because I haven't been married. However, I was never interested in having a conversation with the fucking wife about nothing her husband was doing, and particularly when it came to me. So, this new type of shit that people be on about confronting a wife, and even though, I've grown, I've matured, and my decision making is different now, because I have experiences and now I have a different in-look on myself. Not just a different outlook, I have a different in-look on myself. So I make different choices. And it bugged me out, whether it was then when I was young and dumb, or now that I've reached the age of maturity and choose different. It still bugged me out on these bitches that call themselves going to the wife as a woman about the husband. I don't know. I just think that shit is bugged out. I think it's even worse that he even allowed that type of shit. Because all I can say is this, right? Men in our communities were not ever the model of perfection. They were never the perfect man. But it was a day and time and era that at the very least they knew how to do some shit. Like if they was gonna fuck around, fuck around and have that dirt come back to home. At least not the men that I've encountered. And I mean romantically and or otherwise. Because the male role models that I've had, which were my uncles and cousins and brothers, whatever dirt that they was motherfucking doing, it did not come back and reach their residence. Alright? I mean, you know, shit happens, you know, and times change. This is true. I don't only find it offensive to the wife. I find it offensive to the whole situation. Now, my logic when I was younger, because I've seen samples of men cheating on their wives. And one thing I always knew, whether I was romantically linked to the motherfucker or not, I always knew he wasn't going to leave his wife. And not that I required it or even wanted him to. But I did not allow myself to get in an emotional investment to ever fool myself into thinking that he would ever, or that I would believe him if the conversation ever came up. I instead thought, well, it's important for me that he keeps and maintains a good rapport with his wife so that I can see him whenever the fuck I want to see him. If he fucks that up and breaks that bond, that trust, that rapport that he had with the wife, I'm not going to be able to motherfucking see him. And if I'm not going to be able to see him, I still can't turn around and beef with her. My beef is with him, because guess what, motherfucker? You not my husband. And I'm not going to be waiting to fuck around and can't go out and hang out and feel the way I'm feeling and do what I'm doing because you can't go out. No, I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not going to put myself on punishment because your ass on punishment. Nigga, you either act right, because the minute you start that, you know, I can't see, I can't come, I can't, you can't. Nigga, I can't be in this shit no more. I gotta be with somebody, and this is my young frame of mind thinking. But I remember so vividly, you know, because as you get older too, sometimes you miss certain parts of yourself when you was younger. And I can admit to that. I miss the freedom of, like, the free mind that I had in my youth. You know? Now that I'm a parent and I am, you know, I'm a different person. So that free mind state, that maneuvering a certain type of way had to cease, and I had to evolve as a person because, right? We can continue on all the reasons why you gotta make the right choices to do the right things and evolve. But
hazard reported ahead. Makes sense. There are 2 powerful eclipses this week.
So with that, I guess it's time for me to cut the shit off. But and so I've evolved into the type of person that never again would I ever date, and I'm not interested in dating somebody's motherfucking husband unless it's my husband. I was making those decisions when I was in my 20s. I am now, and I'm talking about early to mid 20s. I am now in my motherfucking 40s, and I am solely focused on my own self and my well-being and who I am constantly evolving into in this phase of my life. So I am definitely not interested in dating anyone else's husband. I'm not interested in being second best to no motherfucking body, baby. I am not. I won't. I refuse to. But you know, that takes growth. But the whole point of me making this fucking video is because I remember times where wives were being confronted by the side pieces, and I always thought that was tacky. I always thought that was silly. I always thought that was corny. I always thought that was garbage. And I honestly always thought that the side piece was delusional. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever reason, and I'm not even defending the guy at all. I'm just giving you my opinion at the time. In very, very, very few instances, does the husband leave the wife. And so, when most of the side pieces get into this mind state, when that's going to happen, I start to think that they're delusional. But that's just me. That's just my frame of thought. That's just my thought process. And this is a sidebar. So I had a family emergency, and I was sort of forced to contact Judas. Well, honestly, he contacted me, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. I spoke to him, and again, there was a great just relief over me, mainly because, child, I gotta put this air conditioner on. Mainly because I was not triggered in any shape, form, or fashion, and I was more or less in the fact, embracing the fact that I had came a long way. I took pride in myself for not just being able to speak to him, but not being triggered and not showing any what's the word I'm looking for? Not really, not really showing him anything. Not that it was anything to show him, but you know what I'm saying. After a breakup, whenever, if ever, you finally do speak to the person again, especially the person that did your ass wrong and did your ass dirty, it still could trigger some things, and I realized in my healing that sometimes I may be triggered at different times for different reasons. Like, he didn't contact our youngest son on his birthday to say happy birthday, and that triggered me. That made me feel some type of way. But speaking to him directly, just being in his presence, and I mean verbally, like through the phone, and you still in the person, presence, you still in their energy, whether you in front of them or not, but just being in it, that shit did not bother me at all. And in fact, it just not just made me proud of myself, made me say to myself, so this who you thought was the one, made me question myself a little bit in a joking way, but relieved nonetheless that I have came this far, that and I'm not looking to go back. I can appreciate all the experience I had related to him, even the breakup after it hurt, because it taught me that whatever the fuck he was given, that it wasn't enough, because he wasn't giving shit no way. But it made me realize how true his words were when he looked in my face and said to me one time, he said, I just feel like you too good for me. Now, at that time we was going through it, and I just thought that he was, grabbing out of the sky for excuses because he wasn't man enough to tell me the truth, right? But when I finally spoke to him myself again very recently, and I'm talking about within the last 4 days, when I spoke to him myself very recently, I was like, you know what? I remember that moment, and I told myself, you know what? That just may very well be the motherfucking truth. That may be the fucking truth. Maybe I am too good for him. And it has nothing to do with my career. It has nothing to do with materialism, or monetary value or anything like that. It has everything to do with my self-value, the value I have in myself. Because during my healing process again, right, and again, this is also recently, but before I spoke to him, I came to this conclusion about myself. And even though I know that it's true, but when you gotta celebrate yourself. You gotta fucking celebrate yourself. And I have to constantly remind myself of that, because, you know, my priorities to me are not really considered goals. And so when I accomplish something, I look at it as, okay, I need to get that done, and I got it done, on to the next. I very rarely, hardly ever take time out to celebrate. But you know what? I had to celebrate my motherfucking self and be real with myself and say, let me tell you something, bitch, you so motherfucking solid. You so motherfucking solid as a person and as an individual and as a lover and as a motherfucking friend, that everybody that you come across, whether you grow an attachment to them or not, whether you care for them or love them or whatever role they play in your life, but everyone is not going to be able to handle it, and everybody's not going to be able to reciprocate it. But one motherfucking thing for sure, and two things for certain: should they ever fuck it up and I gotta get the fuck up out of there, oh, they gonna miss me. They're gonna miss me, and they don't have to admit that to anyone outside of themselves. But if they have any self-wherewithal, they're gonna be real with themselves and say that. Because baby, I'm not motherfucking replaceable. I am not. I am not. Straight like that, I am not. And it's all because of who my heart is. It's all because the purity that I have with my intent. Because the people that I love them bad, I love them down, I love them up, okay? And I always want what's best for them. Because in this motherfucking world full of smoke and ashes, bitch, when our whole motherfucking culture is against our whole motherfucking society alone, like that mere fact right there within itself is enough to cause some type of mental health. Because everybody isn't strong-minded either. So I bear that in mind. It's not embedded in my mind, but you know, when you grow up a certain type of way, you tend to be reminded almost on a daily basis of, you know, your place in this world, or your outlook, and, you know, your view of the world. So just based on that fact alone, when I deal with my tribe in any type of way, I am always, my intent is always good, because I truly in my heart want what's best for them. Based on that fact alone, based on the fucking world that told us we couldn't have and we wouldn't be shit, even though this motherfucker wouldn't be nowhere without the culture. But still, these motherfuckers try to intend and convince us of everything that we not and can't motherfucking be. So when I am in the presence of royalty, when I'm in the presence of greatness, I need that motherfucking energy reciprocated, okay? And for the most part, it is. It's different when you sit at a table of bosses. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking different. The conversation is different, and the motherfucking meal is even different. So I know for a motherfucking fact that when you fuck over a good person, when you fuck over somebody that was loving you in any type of way, whether I was loving you as a sister, whether I was loving you as just a friend, I knew you for a long time and we don't hang out all the time, but you're still my friend and I love you. Whether I was loving you romantically because you was my guy, and nigga, whatever you in, I'm in, 10 toes down, and we coming out of this shit and all of that ride and die and all that bullshit. I was always motherfucking true. I was always right and exact. Okay? Always righteous. So I know for a motherfucking fact, people may not always be able to handle that. They may not be used to it, but they damn sure realize when it's missing out of their motherfucking life. Yeah, they do. They do. So in your process of motherfucking healing, don't beat yourself up too motherfucking bad. I know we go through it sometime. You know, be like, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I get it. But don't beat yourself up too motherfucking bad. Because at the end of the day, when you solid, baby, and when you make movements, that's what you know in your heart is to be right and exact, motherfuckers is gonna miss you bad. And like I said, they may not admit it to you. But if they have any wherewithal within themselves, that's where they're gonna admit it to themselves. And you know what? I don't need nobody to admit it to me, because I know what the fuck I know. Okay? So with that being said, child, I was fucking rushing. And you know, I hope my makeup is okay. So far it looks okay. But I can't really look at it now. So I'm going to celebrate life today. I'm going to hang out for a little while. I'm going to celebrate the life of one of my sister friends. And I just wanted to bring that message to you real quick, because it just sat with me, and I said, okay, I got to get it out. And when that happens, I am aware of my due diligence. All right, so I wanted to get that message out. So, you know, sometimes you got to clap for yourself. Sometimes you got to be your own cheerleader, baby, and you got to be all right with that. You got to be all right with that. Self-elevation, or elevation of any sort, but most of the time, when it's self-elevation, it requires separation. Everybody can't motherfucking go with you, and that's the motherfucking truth. Now, it shouldn't be that just because they can't go with you that y'all, you know, become enemies. But a lot of time, it's not necessarily you that wants to tread enemy lines. It's the fucking enemy disguising itself as a friend, because they realize at some point they're not going to be able to go with you on your journey. Whatever reason that is, whether it's jealous, envy, you know, greed, lust, whatever the fuck it is, they realize that they can't go with you on the journey, so they start to try to sabotage the relationship, situationship, or whatever the fuck you got going on. But it's okay. Make your peace with the separation. I know you may have liked them. I know you may have loved them, you know. But as soon as you can, start making peace with them not being where you had put them, because God got somewhere else for them to go. I just want you to remember that, right? Because they are to continue moving on with their lessons, and they either gonna be, you know, they either gonna be a lesson or a blessing to somebody else. Like, you know, it's just a cycle that goes on. They gotta move on to their shit, and you move on to your shit and keep it moving. You know, because when you ask, when you get down, you know, in your spirituality, and you start asking for shit like blessings, and you get specific on whatever blessings you need. You know, I want the blessings of love in my life, and I'm coming to you and I'm asking you because I'm ready and I'm prepared. I want the blessings of, you know, financial windfall, because, you know, whatever it is that you asking for, you got to know that in all things there's balance. Too much of anything ain't good for you. So you can't think that with all these motherfucking blessings that you asking for, whatever it is, I wanna, you know, I wanna be a parent, and I'm asking, well, all of this shit that you asking for, baby, you cannot possibly think that shit ain't gonna be balanced out with something not going right. A tooth got to be pulled from somewhere. So you really, truly must understand what it is that you're asking, and how it's going to maneuver, because your heart's desires can very well be granted. You definitely can manifest some shit that you want, but the balance is, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? And I'm not even talking about in a demonic way, because I don't fuck around like that. I'm talking about the balance of all things.
In 1 mile, continue straight.
I'm going to give you an example. When Judas got motherfucking locked up, I panicked, because now I got 2 motherfucking kids that I got to take care of on one income, and the job that I had at the time wasn't paying me shit. Okay? And I went on my knees, I got on my knees and I prayed and I said, listen, I need to be able to take care of my kids, and I thank you for the blessings in which you bestowed upon me. But these blessings also come with a
In
responsibility.
a quarter of a mile, continue straight.
I appreciate with all my heart, being able to be a parent again. I just want to be able to take care of the responsibility that was also bestowed upon me with this blessing. I started taking exams for jobs, and I got a great paying job. It definitely helps me to take care of my family. But many days and many nights I cried, because what I realized that I'm sacrificing is my time. So for years, and now it has been 14 years since I've been at this job. So for 14 years I have done an excessive amount of overtime at my job, because I have the type of job that nobody wants. I have the type of job that nobody wants. So I do take care of my family, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm thankful for that. But the balance of it all, and the sacrifice of what I'm sacrificing, is my time. I really don't have time for a lot of things, a lot of things. And I really wish that I could make the time, but it is very difficult because the overtime is mandated, and there is a system set up within the job, whereas if you don't complete a certain amount of overtime hours within a month, there can be repercussions behind it, and it sounds fucked up, and it actually is fucked up. But when I went and I asked for financial assistance to be able to take care of my responsibilities, at the time I didn't realize that to balance everything out, I had to make a sacrifice. I wasn't specific in my prayer. You know what? I said, God, I'm a soldier. You know me. You know your daughter. I'm a soldier. If you show me the map, I put that footwork in. And 14 years later, I'm still putting that motherfucking footwork in. So I'm sharing some of my lessons with you, so maybe you can have an understanding of how things go. That when you pray for certain things, understand that there has to be a balance created, and also understand that you need to specify. You need to specify what it is that you're praying for, what your request is, and you don't need anyone to help you fucking do that. Now, I'm not gonna get into religion, and I am not gonna get into, the church setting and things like that. But if you have a relationship with the universe, if you have a relationship with the Creator, then that is really all that you need. Everything else you do is maintenance. It'll be kind of, it's towards your maintenance. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing, but just know that your relationship with the Creator, with the universe, is tailor-made. And you don't need anybody's assistance. Okay? Just remember that. I'm going to get ready to get my ass up out of here. Just know that you are loved. And keep motherfucking healing. Don't stop. It's a process. It's a process. You want your heart healed, and you praying for healing because you in this space, and you tired of being in this space, and you tired of feeling hurt, and you tired of feeling broken, and your prayers will definitely be answered, and it will come. It will come. But what are you willing to sacrifice for that healing? I ain't talking about no motherfucking blood sacrifices and all of that shit like that. It may have to be your time. So when you think partying and drinking and smoking is help easing your pain and getting your mind off of it or helping to distract you for a little while, that might be the same amount of time you need to take a spiritual bath, or to sit and meditate, or to lay on your face and pray, or to burn your sage and bless your space and bless your physical, mental, emotional, get yourself in alignment. You know, you're gonna have to sacrifice some of your time for what you saying that you want. Okay? Just understand that. And with that, I wish you well, baby. Keep healing, keep doing your motherfucking thing. Alright? And I'll get with you soon.